Buongiorno, Edge9 è a Barcellona per il Mobile World Congress 2025. In questi giorni incontreremo diverse aziende protagoniste del settore delle telecomunicazioni e dell'IT per toccare alcuni dei temi più interessanti di questa fase di evoluzione del mercato. Parleremo di intelligenza artificiale, di come si sta spostando sempre di più verso l'edge e verso i device. Parleremo del 5G Advance e delle reti standalone e di come questo stia abilitando nuovi servizi per gli operatori. E sicuramente parleremo anche di sicurezza e di come qualsiasi tecnologia in ambito mobile o IT oggi deve essere sempre tenuta in sicurezza. So there is a very interesting year for MWC, I think. There is a lot of evolution in the TLC market, convergence with IT, several different forces coming together. And I'm very curious to hear, what is your point of view on this evolution?
Yeah. So I think it's not been any mistake that the telecom industry has not really performed compared to other industries out there. Return on invested capital has not been high. And I think there's two reasons for it. One is a cost efficiency reason, that the networks that have been built are highly proprietary, very difficult to scale, very difficult to run. But the real crux of this is that monetizability of new services hasn't happened. There was a lot of promise that 5G would come in, a lot of new services would be created, and then the return on the investment, on the spectrum investment, on the CapEx investment would happen. That has not happened. But I think this is a turning point for the industry right now. And the turning point is coming not because of anything that the industry has done. It's coming because of new applications that are being deployed. And those new applications don't come very often either. The last change in this industry happened because SaaS applications came in and new services got deployed. As an example, SD-WAN was a service that got deployed and the industry actually made some good money from it. This next generation of applications that are coming in are going to be a big sea change over what has happened in the past. And I'm specifically referring to generative AI applications. Now, as you walk around the Mobile World Congress, you'll see a lot of AI, but that AI is almost all focused on how AI is going to help the network. I'm talking about how networking is going to help AI. So it's actually the flip side of it. How does telecom respond to this new class of applications that are coming in, these generative AI applications? Now, the new class of applications are going to be distributed, and that distribution is going to mean that agents are going to be running across the network. Some agents are going to be in the data center, some agents are going to be, as an example, in the retail store, healthcare, in a clinic, in a manufacturing site. So these agents are going to be all distributed. In order for these next class of applications to work well, the agents need to talk to one another in a performant way, meaning low latency. They need to be secure, the interaction, and they need to work in a way that telecom operators can say that we understand this agentic application and our telecom network is going to respond and provide a cost-efficient service for it at high performance, with great security, with good manageability. So this is really the requirement that is coming up. And if telecom can respond appropriately to this shift in applications, I think this monetization problem will go away, and we can say that we are not just the providers of bits and bytes, but we participate in the CEO level interactions that happen with businesses, because businesses are concerned about their applications. They're not concerned with what's the bit error rate on my MPLS connection. And so if we can tell them that your applications are going to work, they're going to perform, and the network is going to respond to it, then telecom will become relevant in the business conversation, which is what all of us want.
Yes. You mentioned security. Security is becoming a big issue because all these networks talking to each other, everything is distributed. On top of monetization, what is going on there and how things need to evolve to actually make the network secure?
So security is a constantly evolving challenge because the number of threats increase all the time. The bad actors come in and the mechanisms that they use are getting much more creative. So of course, we've got to do the basic things from a network perspective. We've got to make sure that the traffic is encrypted, it is confidential, we use the principle of least privilege. An architecture that has worked on the IT side, which also is getting adopted by telecom, is zero trust. So you don't trust the endpoints that are coming in, whether it's a human or a machine or an agent, until you have figured out who that person is or who that actor is, what kind of device they have. And then once they come in, you use the principle of least privilege to give them access to whatever they're looking at only for that particular interaction, for that transaction, for a limited amount of time. This is a bedrock principle that must be adopted. But the other one that I think is very important, especially for Gen AI applications, is the data leakage problem. So what is happening with RAG, as an example, is a lot of enterprise data that is on all of the endpoints of an enterprise is getting stored through embeddings into a vector database. Now, RAG is only one mechanism. You can pre-train and fine-tune, but the essential problem is still the same. How do you prevent enterprise data from leaking and going where it should not? Now, here also, if telecom operators can identify not just the application, but the data that is going over their networks, then they can participate in this security. So it's not just that telecom networks need to be secure, but they can actually participate in the monetization that is going to come about from security services that can be deployed on the network. So security has, again, these two aspects to it, but as you rightly pointed out, security is going to be a huge challenge, and it becomes even more because of these Gen AI applications and this agentic interaction that is going on.
And here at Mobile World Congress, you launched a new solution called VeloCloud. Can you tell us why it is different from other solutions, and what do you mean by saying that this is a converged solution?
Yeah, so convergence to us means that the telecom operator can look at all of the different underlays or access methods that they have and can make them work together on the basis of an individual or class of applications. So it's really application-based convergence. So you say, if you're an enterprise, you say, look, this application that I have, whether it's a retail application, merchandising, inventory, ERP, it's the most important application for me. And this network must perform for that application. If the Gmail doesn't work or Netflix or something doesn't work, that's okay. But this application should work. So what we've done is, we've said that whether you have 5G, SA, NSA, fiber, broadband, even satellite, if you deploy VeloCloud, it combines all of them for you for the basis of that application. So an application can make use of all of the access methods all in parallel and can provide the quality of service that is required for that specific application. That's why we say application-based convergence is very different from what we've seen in the past. And I think this is also going to be extremely relevant for this new class of Gen AI applications that are going to be agentic. So we are trying to move ahead of the curve and provide this convergence so that telecom operators can have a new monetizable service that they can deploy.
Allora, lo stand di Huawei è da visitare se si viene a Barcellona, perché è veramente enorme, omnicomprensivo, ci sono tantissime soluzioni che vengono presentate. Per quello che è il tuo ruolo, noi abbiamo visto, siamo partiti dalla parte di networking con un'attenzione particolare di Huawei al tema dell'SD-WAN. Ci puoi raccontare perché è così importante?
Sì, volentieri. Dunque, noi con una soluzione già di router di accesso che avevamo sul mercato della connettività, abbiamo aggiunto la funzionalità appunto di rendere la connettività più intelligente per la fornitura verso il mondo dell'enterprise, con l'adozione di quello che è definito l'SD-WAN, quindi il Software Defined Networking dedicato alle reti WAN, quindi della connettività. Questo apporto tecnologico è stato possibile già su hardware esistenti, su router di accesso, e quindi abbiamo aggiunto la componente software di controllore che va a configurare e fornire un servizio flessibile, capacitivo e allo stesso tempo dinamico nella configurazione di una rete di accesso al mondo internet e intranet che possa appunto essere dinamico e configurabile in tempo reale.
Quando poi si entra dentro la LAN, ormai come dire, si parla quasi esclusivamente di Wi-Fi 7, mi sembra, e poi ci sono un paio di chicche che state portando sul mercato nei vostri access point e nei router.
Esatto, quindi noi oggi parliamo per Huawei, presente è già il Wi-Fi 7, ne abbiamo svariati modelli per tutte le applicazioni in termini di capacità sia di banda che di connettività verso gli utenti, e quindi è il nostro presente. A questo abbiamo aggiunto anche delle Ethernet switch chiamati multi-giga, in modo da fornire tutta questa capacità di throughput verso il mondo wireless LAN, e la chicca, se vogliamo, è stata quella di rilasciare una connettività e alimentazione sullo stesso cavo, quindi un cavo in fibra ottica accompagnato dal doppino per l'alimentazione, quindi possiamo andare oltre i limiti fisici di cavi Cat 6 o 6A e quindi raggiungendo qualche centinaio di metri per alimentare e fornire connettività al mondo wireless, al mondo access point Wi-Fi.
Chiudiamo con un altro cavallo di battaglia di Huawei, che è quello dello storage. Voi siete molto focalizzati sulle soluzioni flash ad alte prestazioni, ma adesso la tecnologia flash comincia a essere competitiva anche per l'archiviazione.
Esatto, esattamente. Noi quello che abbiamo arricchito ovviamente il portfolio di storage, che già come dicevi era concentrato sul mondo flash per la parte di archiviazione attiva, quindi per i data center. Abbiamo portato quella tecnologia basata su dischi SSD sul mondo dell'archiviazione a medio-lungo termine, e il successo di questa iniziativa è quello di aver raggiunto un break-even a parità di capacità tra una macchina ibrida basata soprattutto su dischi rotativi, raggiungendo la stessa capacità a costi contenuti in una macchina all flash, quindi capacità enormi, risparmi notevoli di spazio e di consumo di energia, e quindi una soluzione tutto tondo ottimale per il futuro dell'archiviazione a medio e lungo termine.
There is a lot of talk about the evolution of 5G, moving to 5G standalone networks, which brings cloud-native architectures with it. What is your overall point of view on the evolution of 5G?
So I think 5G, as you said, now we're talking about the standalone 5G standalone, but 5G is involved. It started with the RAN, with the access network, which was for years now being virtualized, right? And so the core itself now, the 5G standalone core, is virtualized. I think even previous to that, by the way, a lot of 4G cores have been virtualized because it made sense, right? So this is not new. I think what is new is that there is this understanding that you need to provide 5G for the sake of 5G doesn't really provides any additional value, and therefore doesn't provide the right revenue growth for service providers. So you need to put something that will take advantage of the capabilities of 5G, and 5G standalone in theory brings that richness of capabilities, right? So for me, it's less of an issue of actually what is the difference from a security perspective, the fact that we are now more cloud native. It's how now do you secure the value and the services that 5G can deliver? So of course it touches upon the cloud service, but the cloud native nature of 5G, but it touches much more than that. So anyway, from the RAN, the core, any exposure point that you have, the management layer, that secures all of that, the interconnectivity into the value-added service platforms, which can be reside in your own data center, it can be reside in the public cloud, it can be provided by partner, the API integration, everything now is API, right? So all of that, so a service provider, if you want to generate revenue, if you want to grow, you provide a service, the end user or the business doesn't care about what's happening inside, right? He wants to consume a service that is secure. So you need to think about, okay, how do I secure the service? How do I secure this or this or this? How do I secure the service? And that means including all of these components.
And AI plays a role in this because it plays a role in the orchestration, in the automation. It also plays a role for the attackers that are using it, for you that provide solutions to defend. How do you see AI evolving in all of its different layers, and what is its role right now and in the future?
So I think, AI is old. It's an old technology. I mean, AI is big. It's a very big field with a lot of subfields. I know that, Fortinet has been using different types of machine of AI, whether it's machine learning, whether it's neural networks and stuff like that for years and years and years now. And the new thing, the new kid on the block is really Gen AI, right? So first of all, I think machine learning has been playing a very important role in defending, in orchestrating, in automating, in many different domains. It's the same with Fortinet, the same with cybersecurity. So this will continue. It's a very fundamental component in what we do and what we have to continue to do. The new kid on the block, Gen AI, has a very important role to play, right? Unfortunately, it also plays a role for the attackers, right? Because it makes their life much easier. It has a role to play with cybersecurity. It has a role to play in overall the ability of service providers and telco to automate and become more efficient, more engaging with their customers. But also, it's a new attack surface. So we've seen Gen I can be attacked. we can create hallucination. We can break into Gen I. We can make it, go against its security rails. We can make it. We can exfiltrate data, information, IP information from it. So what we need to make sure is that not only to rush and say, okay, I'm putting Gen AI because it's cool, because it helps, because it has lots of benefit, but wait a minute. Is it secure? Can I trust it? Can I explain how it works? Can I make sure that the risk associated with them isn't greater than the risk, the benefits that are associated with it? So I think we have to. It's definitely a very important and powerful tool that we have to use, but at the same time, we have to say, wait, it's another attack surface. Let's look into that. Let's make sure that it's secure before we go and actually put everything on GI, and then suddenly, boom, bad things happen.
This is a very interesting show because at the Mobile World Congress, you find the carriers, you find the telecommunications providers, and then you have companies like HPE, which are leader in networking and IT. I was very curious in hearing what is your point of view on how these different sectors are coming together, thanks to the evolution of 5G, to standalone networks, to the cloud-based architecture that all of the carriers are looking into. And so from your privileged point of view, how things are evolving?
Well, look, I think carriers are looking for ways to either make money or save money, because obviously some of them are having quite a tough time, aren't they? So we're here to talk to them about how we can help in both categories. So in terms of helping them make money, obviously HPE and HPE Aruba in particular has got a great range of products and services that their customers would be interested in. So we're having lots of conversations with carriers about how they can take the Aruba portfolio and sell it to their customers. And then on the saving money side, which is obviously the other side of the equation, we help carriers because we support more of an open network architecture for carriers. And often we find that when carriers take more of an open route, they can save money, but also they can develop new services such as segmentation, network slicing, those sorts of services that again they can make more money on. So we're here to help them generate more money and save money.
Perfect. And an underlying technology which is evolving in every sector is AI. You've already incorporated AI in your platform, in Aruba Central, for a long time. How is this evolving, and how do you see this going forward?
Yeah, so AI is obviously a great technology, big buzz around that. And we've been, our platform actually, Aruba Central, has been established now for about 12 years, got millions of devices connected to it, lots of data as well being pulled. But yeah, as you say, we've developed AI in that platform, and we've got some really handy use cases for customers. So it will look at a customer's infrastructure, and let's say a customer's got 100 access points in a particular office. But every Friday, the platform realizes that, you know what, after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 80 of them aren't being used. It will recommend, I tell you what, why don't you switch these 80 access points into idle mode to help save money and help the environment. So that's where we're starting now to see some very useful use cases for AI in our platform.
And all of this, for all of this to work, it has to be secure. You've always been very focused on security, but now that all these different networks are interacting with each other, the threats are evolving. How do you see this going forward, and what is HPE's role in securing the network and the infrastructure?
Yeah, sure. So we've invested in platforms that help with security. So we have bought a security company called Axis Security about 18 months ago. And what we've done there is we've taken that security technology and added it to our SD-WAN technology. So we have a single vendor SASE solution in the network. So in terms of helping enterprise customers with their underlying network security, we have offers in that space. which we're looking to integrate further with some of the other security offers that we have on the Wi-Fi side as well. And then over and above that, in the Aruba Central platform, we're building more security capabilities. One of the things the platform will do is it will look for unusual behavior across the network. And one of the things that we talked about earlier today was the fact that, quite often hackers will target old devices on a network. So maybe IoT devices that normally are being polled for, say, 2 minutes a day. All of a sudden, if a platform device or an IoT device is being used 24/7, chances are it could be compromised. And so the platform will look out for that and flag that to users.
Can you please tell us what you perceive the role of Google Cloud to be in the telco industry?
So our role, we believe, has always been to accelerate the journey of our customers, accelerate that transformation from moving from using our AI-driven cloud to becoming AI-driven telcos. And we start that, always begins with a data framework and an open data platform that we've been working with our customers on. And you need that platform breaking down the silos in these organizations, because that's the only way you can actually surface an AI initiative in these organizations. We're focusing with our customers in certain areas for AI. Customer engagement is one of them, traditional contact center type effort and enriching customer experiences. Automation has been an area that we're really focused on and is really growing this year. And I'll touch on that a little bit. And then there's collaboration, employee productivity, code assistant development, Vertex search, which is based on Google search for employee content, etc. And then monetization of the network, which is a piece that I want to dive a little bit more into in this quick conversation. On the automation side, we're doing a lot of work with our carriers on actually automating network. And what that means is I'm proactively looking for any anomalies in the network through telemetry data. I might be correlating alarms. I want to really get them to pinpoint the root cause sooner. And then the big step is to actually remediate the network in an autonomous fashion with an agent, so that I can actually fix an issue before our customers even resolve that issue. And what that's actually driving is cloud native type networks on Google Cloud, because if these workloads can actually sit in GCP, then a lot of that work becomes integrated and a lot of the data becomes integrated and it's easier to access. So that's driving us to work with organizations like Nokia, like Ericsson, where we've made some really good announcements here. There's an announcement we made today with Nokia and Telefonica in Germany, running their control plane in Google Cloud. We had a blog a couple of days ago with Ericsson, where we're really rethinking about how we're operating and building 5G networks, and to make sure that they run more autonomously, leveraging the tools that Google has in Google Cloud. We've been at this with our own network, with our own ML models and our own algorithms. So it's using all that knowledge that Google has used for its own services for many years, and one of the world's largest networks. We're coming together to really reshape this industry.
And it seems like all the elements are aligning with how also TLC is evolving, because in the telco industry now, everybody's talking about the implementation of 5G standalone networks, which required a cloud-native architecture,
Correct.
which is what you can actually offer.
Yes.
But also, this is a way for telcos to monetize more.
I'm really excited about this one. Yeah, go ahead.
And in this respect, API seems to be the key.
Yes.
And you made a very interesting announcement lately about APIs.
We also announced at Mobile World Congress the OGI framework integrated with Firebase to actually surface an opportunity for telcos to really expose the data that's in their network through the Open API gateway. So what that means is we have our 3 million developers. We integrated it into Firebase, which is the application that they use to write applications. And we created the landing zone with our API gateway partners in Google Cloud, so that the one that we launched, the example is electronic phone number verification, so that we can write the application,
connected to the landing zone in Google Cloud out to the carriers who will do the authentication without requiring SMS one-time password. So that is from a customer experience perspective, I know somebody like you or me would be extremely happy to no longer receive one-time password over SMS. It's also great for security because that mechanism has been used for a lot of phishing attacks. It's also great for privacy because the OS on Android in its own country is regionalizing the privacy requirements, and it's creating an excellent opportunity for telcos to monetize their network. Electronic phone number verification is the first use case. There are plenty other applications that developers would love to get access to as they're writing applications.
Questa è una fiera molto vibrante proprio quest'anno, ci sono presenti aziende un po' di tutti i tipi, da chi fa infrastrutture agli operatori. Perché NTT Data è qui e che cosa proponete?
NTT Data viene a raccontare un nuovo aspetto anche di questa azienda, nel senso che spesso veniamo conosciuti come azienda di consulenza, di system integration, ma negli ultimi anni ha sviluppato diversi prodotti che appunto si collegano molto al mondo della connettività e quindi al mondo della gestione delle infrastrutture, della sensoristica, dell'IoT e dell'intelligenza artificiale. E quindi abbiamo sfruttato questa possibilità del Mobile World Congress proprio per raccontare alcuni di questi prodotti che sono in questo momento già funzionanti in produzione, quindi che stanno venendo usati da diverse aziende in Italia e anche all'estero.
Mi parlavi del fatto che ci sono due soluzioni in particolare che presentate qui al Mobile World Congress, una dedicata alle infrastrutture che portano l'acqua nelle case dei cittadini e un'altra per tutto quello che è l'ecosistema della ricarica delle auto elettriche. Puoi raccontarci un po' come funzionano?
Assolutamente. Il mondo dell'acqua è sicuramente uno degli argomenti più importanti che c'è oggi da un punto di vista anche dei PNRR e quindi anche dei temi di sostenibilità. In Italia c'è uno spreco, diciamo, di perdite di acqua molto alto e quindi noi abbiamo sviluppato una soluzione che in questo momento già funziona, diciamo, gestisce più di 40.000 km di rete idrica e ha aiutato a ridurre le perdite dell'acqua di un 20-30%. E questa soluzione appunto si chiama Symphony Water Management e appunto permette attraverso la sensoristica sottoterra, quindi poter avere dei sensori che misurano la pressione e i flussi, attraverso la connettività di questi sensori che mandano i dati e che arrivano poi alla nostra piattaforma, di elaborarli, di poter fare monitoraggio e quindi di poter identificare perdite, situazioni particolari prima ancora che succedano, diciamo, i soliti disastri che tutti noi conosciamo quando l'acqua ormai ha distrutto, diciamo, ed è uscita e fuoriuscita e quindi ha ormai creato dei danni. Quindi sicuramente fare un monitoraggio molto più di dettaglio. Questa soluzione quindi già funziona oggi, diciamo, in grandi città italiane, le stiamo proponendo ad anche altre, diciamo, piccole società poi che gestiscono le acque, che normalmente sono molto territoriali ed è molto bello perché coniugano l'innovazione tecnologica, l'IoT, l'intelligenza artificiale, la connettività per risolvere un problema concreto che abbiamo tutti e che lo viviamo in prima persona.
L'altra soluzione invece che presentate qui è legata a un altro tema molto importante in questa fase, cioè l'infrastruttura di colonnine per la ricarica delle auto elettriche.
Sì, anche quello ovviamente, come dire, è stato ed è un tema di ampio, come dire, interesse politico, ma anche ovviamente da un punto di vista di obiettivi di sostenibilità che si vogliono raggiungere e anche di cambiamento tecnologico proprio del mondo dell'automotive. Quello che abbiamo sviluppato è appunto una soluzione che gestisce proprio tutta l'infrastruttura, quindi di ricarica elettrica, permette alle aziende che oggi stanno lavorando in quella transizione, quindi dalle aziende che gestivano, diciamo, la parte più oil e gas che si stanno muovendo verso la ricarica elettrica, sia le aziende elettriche che stanno creando le loro infrastrutture, diamo la possibilità di gestire tutta l'infrastruttura di ricarica elettrica, quindi la tariffazione, la manutenzione, ticket, tutto quello che riguarda quindi l'infrastruttura. Dall'altra parte invece la soluzione ha anche una parte più legata quindi all'utente finale che permette quindi di gestire invece la ricarica, quindi diciamo, per dirle molto semplicemente, l'applicazione mobile in cui uno può far partire la ricarica, può mettere la carta di credito, pagare eccetera. Quell'applicazione lì la offriamo sia ovviamente alle aziende che gestiscono le infrastrutture, ma ci sono anche altre aziende che oggi sono più degli aggregatori di diversi servizi, chi ha i parcheggi, chi ha diciamo, e altre, diciamo, normalmente aggregano più servizi, e vogliono anche poter loro offrire comunque la possibilità di ricaricare a livello, diciamo, le macchine elettriche. Quindi con questi due, diciamo, diverse tipologie di clienti stiamo proponendo appunto questa soluzione che aiuta anche un po' ad abbattere i costi. Cioè il mondo della mobilità elettrica ci si aspettava dei grandissimi ritorni di investimento, il 50% della flotta ormai del mondo elettrico ormai, diciamo, adottando questo tipo di soluzioni. Non è così, e quindi avere un prodotto che già è pronto e che già viene utilizzato da più clienti permette di gestire molto meglio anche questa crescita che si sta un pochettino più, diciamo, rendendo un po' più normale nelle aspettative, ma che comunque c'è, nel senso che nonostante ovviamente c'erano delle grossissime attese che in questo momento non si sono raggiunte, comunque c'è una crescita e stiamo supportando le aziende che appunto stanno insieme a noi lavorando in questo ambito.